how much money can we make here? Like, what are the kinds of percentages? What kind of money are we talking about here when we're getting invested here?
So those will give you, if you bond our token, and if you stake it, you can easily generate a 6-digit APY. It sounds a little crazy, and it, sometimes it still is, but it is quite sustainable.
How do we know that Cesta is safe?
Security side. So we're currently being audited by one of the biggest name. I think I think that audit is just about to wrap up. It is Christmas after all, but I think that is just about to wrap up. We're hopefully to get that done before we launch. So we're currently being audited by Hacken. And yeah, so as I mentioned, it should be done by early next week or something like that. And so as you can see, I'm putting my face out there because we believe in our project.
What's going on, cowboy? In this video, we've got a new crypto project called Cesta Finance, and we have the founder, the mind behind it all. His name is Jonathan, and he's in the hot seat with us, and we're going to be grilling him for questions, trying to figure out, hey, whether or not this project is going to go somewhere or not going to go somewhere. We need to get to our next Bitcoin here. My name is Aaron. That's all I'm trying to do, trying to help you get to your next Bitcoin, but this is not financial advice, but I do think this is the best source of do your own research, DYROR, doing your own research when you could just ask the horse straight from his mouth, say, hey, is this project worthwhile? What's the team? Who are the whales? Where'd you get coming from? What's your background? All that stuff we'll be covering in this video. Also, I'll be asking the hard-hitting questions, things that we don't typically get to ask them because they're, it's the website or it's a community mod, they don't know the answer. This is the best possible way for doing our own research. And so in the hot seat, we have Jonathan from Cesta Finance. Jonathan, welcome to the hot seat.
Yeah. Hey, Aaron. Thanks for having us.
Awesome. Glad that you're here. Look, before we even get to Cesta Finance, I want to know who you are. Before coming into crypto and Cesta, what's your background?
Yeah. So before Cesta, I was at a PM at crypto.com. So I mostly managed the app and the development of the main app and the card product, the Visa debit card. So I did that for about 2.5 years, I think, just over 2 years. And then I joined DAO Ventures, which is another kind of a DeFi index kind of yield aggregator startup project. And then we've been building on top of that ever since then, since early this year. And we saw the potential with a lot of the new up and coming DeFi 2.0 things. So an idea came to us to kind of integrate kind of the DeFi 1.0 side of things on top of the new DeFi 2.0. So that's how Cesta came to be, and we've been building ever since.
Wow. Okay. So you came from crypto.com managing the app. It's an app I use every day. So that's fantastic. Before we even, I think we need some groundwork here because I'm a little bit of a lizard brain here. I don't know what the difference between DeFi 1.0 and 2.0 is. Can you clarify that for me?
Yeah, so I think DeFi 1.0, I think is centered around kind of the yield, the liquidity mining model. So DeFi 1.0 has been, been kind of taking what we already have, the financial products that we've seen a lot in a lot of the centralized financial products. Think of a traditional hedge funds, what banks currently do. So basically taking that and kind of building on top of blockchain. And DeFi 2.0 is kind of the new kind of a new generation of DeFi products, which are kind of ditching some of the traditional thinkings and come up with new models. And I think everyone have kind of their own definition of DeFi 2.0. But I classify that as kind of just, new generation of DeFi products that are not bound and not restrained by kind of traditional thinking and kind of doing things our own way. Built by people that understand the community and actually built by the community and do it together with the community itself. So I think that has been pretty a pretty big part of what DeFi 2.0 is. Just generally built by the community for the community and very community centric. So that's kind of the goal that we're doing that we're aiming for as well. And that's what we're trying to do with Cesta Finance.
So would I be correct in assuming that DeFi 1.0 in your terms would be the attempts to put on traditional financial instruments onto blockchain in a centralized way, achieving it in a centralized way. And DeFi 2.0 is the same thing, except achieving it in a decentralized way for the
Yeah,
community, as you said.
I think that's a good way to put it. But again, I think everyone have different definitions of what DeFi 1.0 and DeFi 2.0 is, and that's just my personal definition. So
Okay.
yes, I think that's a good way to put it.
Got it. So this brings us to Cesta Finance. Could you please tell me what Cesta Finance is, what's it trying to achieve, and how's it going to change the world?
Yeah, so I think we've been very intrigued by some of these kind of rebase token started by Olympus DAO. So we've been really fascinated by the tokenomics. But I think and we've seen a lot of these rebase token popping up every left and right on every chain basically. And we realized there's one problem that not a lot of people are talking about is that the nature of a lot of these projects, I have great respect for a lot of them. But I think one issue that we often overlook is that a lot of these kind of reserves in treasury are backed by by tokens that are not generating a lot of yield. And also they're very heavily relying on their own kind of token, the LP of their own token. The issue with that is that when the market is going up and to the right, in the bull market, it creates a very positive feedback loop. So the hype generates and the price goes up. You get more bond sales and then more people stay. It kind of feeds itself. But unfortunately, we do know that the market doesn't go up all the time. It corrects sometimes, and
It
sometimes
hurts.
out of the control of the project. If Ethereum or Bitcoin have a connection, a correction, everything drops, and that's not really, we can't really control it. And when that happens, you see that a lot of these rebase token, and we're seeing that play out at the moment with a lot of these rebase token, is that the positive feedback loop that we talked about just before, it becomes a negative feedback loop. Essentially, the token price starts to drop. The bond sales, the hype kind of dies down a little bit. There's a bit of fear in the market. And then it creates a negative feedback loop where the price drops a little bit, then there's less bond sales, and then the treasury will go down, and then there's less APY, and then it feeds, it feeds itself again, until it regain kind of market traction and go back up. So this, we think, it's a huge problem that needs to be addressed. And we think we have a good approach for it. And what we do is we basically take yield generating assets, and diversify a basket of it, in a kind of a basket of these diversified assets that are generating yield to back the treasury, so that even as the token of the price corrects itself, because the treasury is backed by a lot of these utility tokens, tokens that have real use case, that it would appreciate and generate yield over time, rather than just relying solely on the token of the project itself. So that's how we approach this kind of rebase token model. We basically take the best of the DeFi 1.0 world, which is a lot of the yield mining and yield mining rewards. I know not a lot of people are talking about it at the moment, but it still exists, and a lot of people still use it. So we take that and we built kind of we use the DeFi 2.0, the Olympus DAO, the token model, the reserve currency token model, and we build it on top of of a lot of these kind of yield farming LPs. So that's what we've done, basically combining the best of both worlds.
Gotcha. So if I could sum it up here, you're taking you're keeping the yield mining and the rewards. And let me set the problem. The problem is that with these reserve currencies, that's what we're talking about here, is that whenever the market goes down, it's a negative feedback loop. Like this thing goes down, then it feeds into the APY, then it feeds into the price, then it feeds and the lower sales, and it keeps on feeding itself, and it crashes. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to establish, I guess, what would be a stabilizing line with this basket of assets. Is this correct? And that's where you'll that's where that'll help establish some kind of stability into the price.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to do it. To put it.
What is this basket of assets? What's that composed of?
Yeah, so different projects have their own treasury and their own makeup. So we currently aiming very heavily towards our own. So we created these kind of investment strategies that we know that works, and we carry that over from Dell Ventures. Essentially, what it does is we're investing into LPs made up of Avalanche, Trader Joe, Pangolin, Lydia Finance, a bunch of stable coins. And so we're very invested in the Avalanche ecosystem. So we've taken a lot of these the protocols token, and then we do some of these top dexes. So these will should always in theory have utility. Basically if you're in the Avalanche ecosystem, you're going to use these tokens. So they're actually real utility and use case for these tokens, and that should make up the majority of the treasury. And also we have kind of some stable coins as well. To kind of reduce the impact of the volatility, but to start with, that I think that's what the treasury will be majority backed by some of these Avalanche tokens.
Gotcha. Okay, so keeping in mind my audience here, just listening in, how much money can we make here? Like, what are the kinds of percentages? What kind of money are we talking about here when we're getting invested here?
Yeah, so let's just talk about the two things about that question. Two parts to it. The first part is the underlying investment strategy. So let's say, oh, I don't want to deal with the Cesta token. I don't want to do any token. I just want to put my money somewhere to generate yield. So if you go to our website, go to our app, our investment strategies are already live. Our token is not yet deployed yet. We're aiming for January. But if we just talk about the investment strategy itself, which the treasury will be built on, if you're talking about simple stablecoin strategies, we're looking at about, I think at the moment, around 16% APY,
Wow.
and that's purely on stablecoins. If you're more aggressive, if you want to be a little bit more risky, if you're looking for a little bit more upside, then we have, if you want to invest in Avalanche, different tokens with the DEX, I think it ranges from something like 50% APY to just over 100%.
Wow.
Because a lot of these tokens are still offering a lot of incentives on their own dexes. So that is the investment strategy itself. So if you don't want to touch the token, I just want to put my money somewhere to generate yield. So that's kind of the range of rewards and yield that we're talking about. And then there's on top of that will be our Cesta token, the rebasing token, basically taking a bond sale of token and the profit and the revenue generated through that. Basically the Olympus model, I think Hector DAO is another big one. So those will give you, if you bond our token, and if you stake it, you can easily generate 6-digit APY on your stake token. So yeah, it's absolutely insane. But I think it's been I think Olympus DAO has been doing it for quite a while, and it's still very sustainable. So it sounds a little crazy, and it sometimes it still is, but it is quite sustainable, and we're able to do it through this kind of new and very innovative token model that pioneered by Olympus DAO.
So minimum, you could just stake. If I'm a conservative investor and I don't really know, I want to just kind of dip my toe in the water with you guys, instead of dipping it with crypto.com, where they provide like a 8%, return with my stable coins. I could do it with you guys for 16%, just base layer. Then I could just bring the assets in for anywhere between 50 to 100%. And then I could just go crazy with the bonds and stuff like that. 6-digit API. That sounds scammy. That sounds crazy, but that sounds amazing. I mean, honestly, I've seen this before, and I'm guessing this is the future of finance. So I'm really excited to be a part of it and witness you guys starting this thing. This is insane. So let me ask you something. Who are you trying to reach here then? Who's your target market? Who do you want to be investing with you guys? Who's your target?
Yeah, I think obviously to get started, I think it's easy to just attract the kind of the crypto degens, people that are really heavily into crypto. I think that's always the first place to start. But that our goal has always been kind of bringing crypto to everyone, and I do mean people that are perhaps a little bit not as experienced in crypto, and they just want to put their money somewhere. So one of our guiding principle has always been to try to make things easier, make things accessible, and so to start with, I think for sure we're targeting someone, perhaps a little bit more experienced, kind of know what they're doing. For example, watches, a lot of crypto videos. But I think we're trying to reach everyone. I know that's a bit of a generic answer, but that really is our goal. We believe, crypto belongs to everyone, and everyone should take part in this kind of financial revolution. So we try to make things as accessible as possible.
Yeah, I prefer the term cowboys rather than degens, but degens
Of
will
course,
work too. I know
yes.
exactly what you're talking about. However, how do we know that Cesta is safe? A whole bunch of freaking crazy scams out there. What kind of confidence can you provide me and the cowboys about? Hey, this thing is secure. We're not going to just take your money or leave or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a very important question, especially in crypto. You can spin in a project overnight, and we've seen that a lot. And a lot of people get hurt by that. So I think on the security side, so we're currently being audited by one of the biggest name. I think we're being I think that audit is just about to wrap up. It is Christmas after all, but I think that is just about to wrap up. We're hopefully to get that done before we launch. So we're currently being audited by Hacken. And yeah, so as I mentioned, it should be done by early next week or something like that. So that's on the order side. So on the smart contract, we've been very careful, and we're spending the resources and the money that we have to get it audited to make sure our code is as safe as possible. Obviously, in the world of crypto, there's nothing as 100%, but we're trying really hard to minimize that kind of smart contract and risk. And on the other side of things is that a lot of these projects, a lot of people have their rug pulled, and that unfortunately that has happened, quite a few times over the years. And so as you can see, I'm putting my face out there because we believe in our project, and if I would rug pull everyone, I wouldn't. I would start as an anonymous project, and I wouldn't put my face to it. So yeah. So I think in terms of security, so we're being audited, and in terms of rug pull, obviously, it's all my promises, but at least you have a face to put that promise to. So I think that's a pretty good way to start. And yeah, I encourage everyone to come to our Discord and have a chat with us, and see if you believe what we do, and I think we can all go from there.
Gotcha. So there's a whole bunch of these stuff, like you mentioned, Olympus DAO, Hector DAO has been on our radar as well. What makes you different from, let's say, both of these guys?
Yeah, so I think what they've all done is very interesting, and I do want to stress that earlier I talked about the negative feedback loop. Not all kind of own forks are the same. Some suffers from it more than others. I think Olympus has been doing okay. They have a lot of ETH in the treasury, and personally I do love ETH. So I think they have a very strong future. But I think what makes it this difference and stand out is that we have built all these kind of profitable and proven investment strategies that we want to use as bonds to back our own tokens. And so these indexes and these kind of yield generating assets are going to really help propel the token and the treasury to really keep it going, and to make sure it doesn't suffer too much, even if there's any market correction. And so yeah, our main thing is really the foundation that we're laying with the investment strategies that we talked about earlier. So even if you don't want to do anything to do with token, that is still a very viable investment strategies. And so those investment strategies, the kind of auto compounding and indexes, basically taking indexes and supercharging it with yield, being offered by a lot of these kind of platforms. I think that's going to what help us, and what sets Cesta apart. Yeah.
Gotcha. So kid gloves off, right? I just want to hit the hard hitting questions here.
Mhm.
Uh, I want to talk about whales,
Yeah.
particularly you, any other whales, maybe the team. How big is your team? Who's got the biggest holdings? How much has the allocation been to your team?
Yeah. So we currently have around. Wait, no, we have. Excuse me. We have 6 people at the team at the moment. So we're one community, one marketing, and obviously myself. And then we have 3 developers helping us out on the smart contract on the and on the front end side. We're currently trying to raise some private funding to just kickstart the program. Obviously, a lot of these things, unfortunately, it costs money, like marketing, audits, and developer salary, and a lot of different things. They kind of all cost money, and so we do need a bit of private kind of funding at the start to kickstart it. So what we do is we have this called Cesta token. So essentially, it's an option token that allows the team and the token holders to kind of claim and kind of redeem kind of the Cesta token that we're issuing at a later date at an option price, which is at the base kind of the backing price, which is 10 cents. So what this does is allow us to kind of raise a bit of funding at the start to kickstart the program essentially. So we allocated around, I think, sorry, there's a lot of numbers in my head. I think about $100 million, not $100 million, sorry, 100 million P Cesta token. So if you times that by the backing price, which is 0.1, so about $10 million worth of kind of pre-sale essentially. And so 25% of that is allocated to the team. So myself and all the different members, and we use it to recruit, more developers and more people later on. And then, 50% of that will be going to the DAO. So the biggest holder of these tokens, we try to be very community driven. So most of that tokens will be going back to the DAO. So at a later date, the DAO decides, if they want to convert that to use that funding for whatever reason that they decide to use it for, they have that treasury to use it for. And also we're adding mechanisms to kind of prevent us from dumping essentially. So, on top of the 4-year vesting, so we have a very typical kind of it vests over time, around a 4-year cycle. There's a something called supply factor. So essentially what that does is it limits how much token you can sell on the market, and how much token you can redeem based on how much token it has been kind of minted, and what is the current total market supply. So for example, I think our team, for example, for our early investors, they have a 10% supply factor. So what that means is that they can only redeem about 10% of the total supply. So what that means is that if we're currently we're allocating about 10 million pieces of token. So they can really only sell that if the total supply reaches about 1 billion Cesta token. So if the token, basically what it does is protects kind of everyone from basically the whale dumping on them. Gotcha. So we're hoping that would help solve a lot of the issues.
Yeah, so you got multiple controls locked in here, like the whale dumping and all this other 4-year thing. Okay, I get it. How much are you getting compensated though? What's your skin in the game in here, as it were?
Yeah, I think that number actually hasn't been decided yet. I think within the team we're still talking about that number. So once that's decided, we will 100% put it on our FAQ and on my public address. You will all see that on the code. But yeah, we're still negotiating because we don't want we want to save some of it for later. When we later recruit more developers and all that stuff. So we don't really want to use up too much of that. And I'm not personally trying to get all the tokens and dump on everyone. So we do. We're trying to decide the best way forward for everyone's best interest. So yeah. So it hasn't been decided, but when it is, it will be all over our FAQ.
Wow! So you're working for free then? This is basically you're working for the project here.
At the moment, yeah.
Wow.
But, a lot of these projects are like that at the start. And we do really believe in the project. I'm not planning to not get a single dollar for the next 4 years or so. But I think this project and has a really good potential, and we really believe in it. So at the moment, yeah, that's what it is. But I do have a very strong belief in this project.
Yeah, I like to see that though. I like to see people have skin in the game. I like to see sticking around. Look, so brass tacks here. Someone's watching this. they're trying to figure out how to best use it. I think we went over that, but maybe just quickly go through like the easy steps. I know the IDO isn't, hasn't happened yet. We'll get to that. But how do we use Cesta Finance the best way? Like, I want to make some money. I'm a lizard brain. I don't know these technical stuff. Like, how do you want me to use this stuff?
Yeah, so I think at the moment, the easiest way is just to jump on our website, go to our app, and put some stable coins into our investment strategy. So, there's really nothing to lose, especially if you're really risk averse. It's like, oh, I don't want to take on any of these tokens, especially the market right now is a little uncertain.
Yeah.
Just put your money into some stable coins farming. So what we do is we take a stable coins and we distribute it into different farms based on what's offering the most APY. So at the moment, I think we're talking about 16% APY. So that's as risk free as you can get. You can just put that in there, or just pick one that suits your investment needs, and you can get started from there. And so once you invest in our investment strategies, you would get the LP tokens for that strategies, which really just represents your share in that strategy itself. And once we launch our token and our bonding and our staking, you can then either give us that LP token as a bond and to mint some Cesta token, or just keep holding your investment strategies if you think it's working out for you. So it's pretty simple. Just go to our website, put your stablecoin in, and kind of click and forget.
Yeah. I think in this kind of market where no one knows where it's going to go, if some people are risk averse, they'll put it into stablecoin, then they'll make some yield off of it at least. Let's do that, because who knows where this market's going to go?
Exactly. Grow your capital when it's down, and then get ready to invest
deploy
when the market
when it's
changes.
ready, when it's bottomed out.
Yeah, exactly.
I hear you. So tell me about the IDO. What's the plan for the IDO? Is there a private sale, pre-sale, that kind of stuff? How do we get involved?
So at the moment we're doing some early whitelisting. So if you jump on our Twitter and Discord, there's a bunch of different promos that we're doing. We're doing some small airdrops, and if you do certain things, refer a couple friends to join the Discord and interact with us on the Discord channel, you might have a chance to get whitelisted. So that's kind of all we're doing at the moment, because we're still we haven't really fully launched. So that's what we're doing at the moment. What we're trying to aim for is a January launch. So obviously it still depends on a couple of things. It depends on the progress, and obviously the market is still a little uncertain. So we don't really want to launch when the market is going crazy. So there's couple kind of deciding factor, but we're still targeting a late January. So with that in mind, so we are currently planning for an IDO at some point in January, mid to late January. So if you invest right now in our investment strategies, that would get you a little bit ahead. And we will share more plans for the IDO when the time is closer to the actual IDO itself. But yeah, awesome. For now, I think the best way to get involved is to jump on our Discord and we keep everyone informed and let us know the latest progress. Talk to us if you have any questions. Just come talk to us and we'll explain what we're trying to do and explain our vision. And then just as soon as we figure out the details and figure out a concrete plan in terms of the timeline for the IDO, have your money ready and get ready to jump in.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I have a private Discord group called the High Rollers Club. Anyway, I could get a free a whitelist to give away to them or something like that. We could work out some kind of deal.
Yeah. I think we can have a chat. I think any early supporters we really appreciate. So yeah, for sure, come on our Discord and we'll figure it out. What's the best way to reward our community.
Put you on the spot, right when we're live recording here. Look, everything sounds great. Is there anything that we haven't talked about? No stone left unturned type of deal. Have we talked about everything?
Probably not. But I think this is a good place to start. I think that the most important thing is we try to be as transparent as possible. If there's any questions or any doubts anyone has, or just general kind of if you want to support us, just jump on our Discord and have a chat with me. I'm on there most of the time. Sometimes whenever I'm not building, before bed I like to jump on Discord and clear my head a little by chatting with some people, and it's always fun to talk about things and talk about all things DeFi with like-minded people. So the only thing I want to do is really encourage everyone to engage with us and go from there. That's all I can really ask for.
That's awesome. Yeah, I got a question actually that just coming to mind. What's the next big milestone thing to be excited about for Cesta? I know you said that the launch is January, but is there anything in between there? Anything that like really get excited about?
Um, Yeah, I think we're doing a couple airdrops, just general,
Oh,
general airdrops. So super easy to get involved. It's basically, whether it's putting some money into our investment strategies. Again, the risk is, if you invest in stable coins, it's fairly minimal. You can get involved and get your friends to follow us. So it's super simple things that you can really get involved. Not a lot of time is needed. Yeah, I think I know it's not super exciting because we're really busy trying to deliver the best product that we can. So we're not spending a lot of time on not spending too much time on these kind of things that we really want to focus on development stuff. So until we really have the product finished, the best way to get involved is really all the airdrops and stuff.
no, no, that's exciting because I think some of this stuff like the airdrops and the whitelist, if someone gets that in like a particular country right now where their inflation's going crazy, like this could really be like life changing stuff. You know, what I mean, like that those
Exactly.
airdrops and stuff, they could be like the catalyst for something bigger for people's lives. So I really appreciate that, guys. If you're watching this video and you're interested in Cesta Finance, check out the links down below. Check out, get attached to their Discord, get involved in their community. If it's something that you find interesting, if you trust Jonathan, if you like what he said during this video. Thanks for watching so far in this video. I got one last question for Jonathan, but be sure to check out all their information down here, guys. Look, last question. In a world full of, like a sea full of a bunch of different cryptos out there, and if there's a cowboy sitting on the fence, like, yeah, I don't know about getting involved with Cesta, what is one thing you could say to them to get them over and say, hey, you know what, you should join Cesta Finance because?
Um, That's a good question. I think you should join Zesta because we believe the best way to invest for everyone is basically diversify your portfolio. I think a lot of these investment kind of professionals always tell you, and I think we're currently the best way to do that with DeFi and on top of the crazy reward that you get from the token model. So yeah, yeah, if you want to try something new, try something crazy with potential huge upside, and we think minimize the long term risk. Yeah, definitely come check us out and take a look.
Awesome, and it's right at the beginning. It's before the beginning. You're here. If
Yeah,
you're watching this all the way through, you're before the
super
beginning, and it
early.
gets started so early. Jonathan, thanks for being in the hot seat, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. Lizard brains, gorilla arms, diamond hands, cowboys, always ride together. Happy New Year. I'll see you in the next video.